Welcome once again to the Skies of the Sunless. Once every 15 minutes, visiting a region's hub port will reduce your terror. Interesting. Good to know. Alright, so we're pretty decently high on terror. We've got a fix on Leadbeater and Steinrod. It should be right there, or it should be up there. Be in that little cavalcade. So we're going to go here. We're going to go to Palmyre and Plenty and then up to New Winchester by way of the rat statue. I mean to make some good money while we're down here. That way we can get some balls rolling. And the monitors are out here. See, with the monitors out and about, I think the Tacties are going to suffer more. Which means if I support the Ministry to get the Ministry and the Crown to get those permits, which I really badly need, it's going to be rough. Ooh, 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 ooh. Homestead. Alright. Supplies for Sky Stories. Ooh. Let's do that. Let's trade them some munitions. Because the munitions aren't particularly helpful to me immediately, and bronze wood is worth so much more. Also, I really need to speak to my officers and get those quests started. I keep forgetting to do that. But rats, almost 60% terror, which is not good, but we will be okay. Alright, lowered by 10% terror. Nice. Now, Palmyre and Plenty is going to get me some more terror reduction just because. Oh, hello. Reach Marauder. Oh, Schnecky, I missed. Yeah, I know. Oops, almost ran into that. Alright. Let's explore the captain's cabin and get some more gossip. Yep. Never a bad thing, really. Gossip is very useful all around everywhere. So it's worth endangering ourselves minorly in battle. I mean, Marauders really aren't much of a threat anymore to me anymore. I might be able to do a few points of damage if I lose my grip. Tacties. Yeah, I think the monitors are going to make things a lot harder for the Tacties. So that means I'm going to need to work harder to keep them up and up. The dog drooled on Auntie's shoes. The creepy aunt, who we really don't know why the heck she's with us. She just, yeah. I think I finished this quest, but I'm not certain. New arrivals at the circus. Listen to their stories. Yeah. Right, port report. the tents. Alright, real quick, I just need to double check. Did I finish this quest or no? Oh, so yeah, we need to go to, so we haven't finished. Perhaps not. Well, in that case, we're just going to go to attend the performance, get some Sky Stories. Let's collect some free tickets. Yay, and let's visit the amusements. Lowers terror, not by a lot. Let's visit the amusements again. By 5%. Let's visit the amusements one last time. Alright, let's go to the bazaar. A bunch of souls. We have space for it. Do I need souls for anything? I don't need souls for anything. So we're just going to sell those for monies. Let's go to Mr. Menagerie. A diffident bat. A star-smitten bat. Story of things past. Oh, sure. Mr. Menagerie gestures to a spindle of rock that anchors the circus like a stone weighing down an escaping balloon. Once we gathered here, we held our bargains and boasted of our chiefs. Our bands displayed the finest goods. Our magnanimity was sharp as knives. All knew our worth. Then the light came. They made of our grounds sport, a dancing place, a laughing place. They made bargains of their own. And now you do the same. Interesting. Well, I'm sorry we kind of screwed up your thingamadig. I will acquire nothing. Mr. Menagerie will move along. Yeah, I'm gonna recruit the Amiel Vagabond. Just because I want more quests. That's the only reason. Speaking of which, let's go and talk to these people. Okay, the clay conductor needs nectar. Ooh, let's converse with her. Good lord, are you alright? She immediately bakes you a batch of scones. She doesn't even comment on the order in which you apply the jam and the cream. I know what will cheer you up, she says briskly. I've been invited to a little soiree by Bunty, an old school friend. I think she's head of the Deniable Constables now. You'll come with me, won't you? It'll take your mind off things. She considers for a moment. I must warn you, it's a very particular evening. Old enmities put aside, that sort of thing. It's at Carillion. Okay, cool beans. Let's see what your aunt is up to. Uninvited. It emerges that your aunt is holding a tea party for those of your crew plagued with bad dreams. You're not invited. It's nothing personal, dear. They just won't feel able to speak freely if their captain can hear. They know they can always trust Auntie to keep a secret. She closes the door. I mean, she's kind of odd, but not a bad sort, I guess. Let's talk to the amiable vagabond. He can usually be found in good spirits and good company, gambling, laughing, playing a tune. Failing that, he'll be deep in conversation with some cornered crew member or other, quizzing them about their personal history with every sign of sincere interest. If left alone, he grows restless. He sleeps late and rises early, eager to be among the crew once more. I can swap stories with the vagabond. Well, I got plenty of Sky Stories, so sure, let's swap stories, man. The vagabond stories often feature larger-than-life characters from his loose community of vagrants, people with names like Sooty Jim or the Chimney Kid, and who collectively call themselves Skylarks. They hitch rides on locomotives, sometimes without permission, and scrounge a living from port to port. I'm their king, the vagabond says the vagabond without humility. I taught half of them how to tie a bindle. He pauses, sipping from his flask. We hold monthly gatherings at Port Avon. You should accompany me to the next one. You'll never meet a more interesting bundle of folk. Alright. Well, let's have you play a tune. Before you finished your sentence, the vagabond is already tucking the fiddle under his bearded chin. Want me to break your heart? He asks. Elegy. The vagabond's fiddle is scuffed and scratched. It looks like it's been broken several times and pieced back together inexpertly. And yet the tune which he coaxes from it is soaring, searing, soul-stinging lament. It reminds you of precious things you've nearly forgotten, and raw things you'd rather forget. By the time the vagabond is finished, he has tears in his eyes, and so do half the crew. The silence rings like a bell, and then the vagabond laughs, and the spell is broken. Interesting. Let's talk to the inadvisably big dog. It stares at you, drooling with love. When you meet its gaze, its vast tail wags, dusting your wash things from the sink onto the floor. Pat the dog. Who's a good dog? If goodness requires that things are not destroyed in a creature's wake, this dog is probably not a good dog. Nevertheless, the mere asking of the question has caused it to ascend into a riot of joy. Your slippers will never be the same again, but it's a rare sight to see something in the high wilderness so innocently happy. Dogs is the best. Let's talk to the rats. Scarper lads, they've got guns. Let's talk to the rat brigade. Why exactly do they need a locomotive? Perhaps sharing a confidence of your own will encourage candor. Alright, so yeah. Let's talk to them. Cinders lights a cigar. Our Sarge kicked the bucket in the blockade, but the night before he told each of us he'd left us something in the vault. Old sod must have been loaded. Thing is, we needed his account number to get it. He gave part of it to each of us so there'd be no thieving. Hence our predicament. The last mission, our lieutenant sold us out. Half the squad died, the rest scattered. We took the numbers off the dead, but we need to find the survivors of the company. Between us, we have the number, and we still have to find the vault. Cinders grinds her yellow teeth in frustration. Sarge kept some stuff at Carillion. Doubt it's the vault, but it might be a clue. She cocks her head. 50 sovereigns for a trip to Carillion, then? Alright, so we want to go to Carillion. We don't want to talk to them about Sarge, because I've done that route. I know what goes on there. Alright, on to New Winchester. Our terror is nice and reasonably low. Alright. Yeah, should be straight this way. Alright. Getting close. Ah, the summer days. Young's found. Kisgar Gardens. Kissigar Gardens. Ah, New Winchester. Alright, we're gonna stop by the other place, because I need more Savage Secrets. So we'll trade with them for that. Get a couple sovereigns, and be on our way. Besides, the Tacadies aren't doing so hot right now. London is on the rise. Alright, they've gained some gratitude, and their fortunes are better. Let's get some Savage Secrets rolling. 3 Savage Secrets ought to do it. I'm going to affect the balance of power in the Reach by quite a bit. Just to get that rolling. There's no shops here yet, no. So this way, the Tackities stand a better chance. I didn't know the dog would be a mascot. I just thought he was just sort of a thing that was there. Oh, hello! The Tackities answer. London's invention of the monitor-class locomotive has sparked alarm in the Reach. Ooh, let's figure out what this is. Word has it that the Tackities value their privacy and they don't want Her Majesty's watchdogs freely prowling their skies. Word has it that the indurate veteran has convinced the Colonial Assembly to invest in a proportionate response. What is this appropriate response? Alright, let's find out. After 4 pubs and rather more than 4 drinks, you managed to learn the following. Firstly, the Tackities have embarked on a project to develop new locomotives of their own. It's only a matter of time until the first ones are completed. Secondly, that the work is taking place at the O'Brien factory at Lustrum. Thirdly, the Tackities are desperate for donations of expertise or bronzewood to expedite the construction. Bring bronzewood or crew to Lustrum if you want to assist the Tackities. Bring munitions if you want to sabotage them. Ooh, okay. And yes, we can begin writing the Song of the Sky. Alright, the first canto. You sit at your desk, the blank page yawns before you like an abyss. Memories crawl from the depths, the spiteful howl of the sky winds, the honey roar of a well-kept engine, the darkness, the stars. Alright, before you can truly begin the Song of the Sky, you must make a decision. Are you writing about a fictional character, merely drawing inspiration from your own experiences, or are you writing an explicit memoir? Alright, so I'm a poet. Fiction. More scope, more flexibility, more poetic attitude towards the truth, and avoids any self-incrimination. You intend to be famous, why hide your light under a bushel? As a poet, I feel like a fiction would be better, and my reasoning is thusly. I feel like I'm more of a behind-the-scenes kind of fellow. I'm a poet, yes, but I'm not a... I've had my 15 minutes of fame, and I didn't really care for it. And although I enjoy supporting the Tackities, and I believe they're in the right, I don't want to, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to be known, because I value my anonymity. I want to write something spectacular, but I don't want to necessarily, suffer for it. So, a fiction. You spend a few minutes assembling a name, a face. The conceit of the text shall be that you are simply relaying the dizzying stories of a mysterious sky captain of your recent acquaintance. Of course, even an unsophisticated reader will be able to spot the truth. Right, well, I mean, I wouldn't want to make it too hard. I would want a little recognition, not all of it, just a little. Alright, at first, each word must individually be wrestled from your recalcitrant mind, and somewhere between brain and paper they lose their luster. Finally, just as the mountain of crumpled paper beside your desk has reached your knees, you strike something, a match, a vein, a melancholy chord. You write until you need to sleep, then you sleep until you need to write. When you resurface, the first canto is complete. What now? You've not nearly finished the song, not yet, but perhaps you've written enough to show to a publisher. Find a publisher. You've only written a fraction, but if you're lucky, it'll be enough to secure a book deal. Alright. Rejection. The reputable publishing houses of New Winchester are crammed into Smallthorne Street, where the roaring presses give the impression of a nearby sea. Your first pitch begins swimmingly. Remarkable, murmurs the editor. Effortlessly lyrical, mythological in ambition. When you ask after a deal, however, he shakes his head, no, it won't make a penny. You work your way down the street, your increasingly bedraggled manuscript clutched close to your chest. Finally, you catch an editrix just as she leaves for the day. I won't publish this, she says, flipping through the pages, but I know someone who might. She jots an address on the back of your manuscript. Alright. It's a crooked house in an unsavory part of town. As you open the door, you are buffeted by cigarette fumes. A man appears amid the smoke, his hand slithering into yours. You're the one who's been terrorizing Smoghorn Street, says the omnivorous publisher, his grin encompassing his face. Let me see. He snatches the manuscript. Excellent, he says, breathing twin plumes of appreciative smoke as he reads. I'd like to offer you a deal. Negotiate a contract. The publisher sits at his desk, and you almost lose sight of him behind the swamp of paperwork, books thick with bookmarks and overflowing ashtrays. Alright, let's, my hearts are so good, this is going to be a cinch. Alright, a generous advance. After long hours of negotiation in which you inhale enough second-hand cigarette smoke to poison a cat, you work out a suitable advance. The omnivorous publisher agrees to publish your work serially, canto by canto. He hauls a tarpaulin aside with a flourish to reveal a slumbering behemoth of a printing press. Tomorrow the song will be the talk of the town, he assures you. His prophecy doesn't come true. The first canto is a brief sensation, the subject of a few days' dinner party conversation among literary circles, but it soon sinks into obscurity as the next curiosity comes along. Perhaps the publisher might help you make a success of the second. Perform a monumentous exploit and write about it in the second canto of the Song of the Sky. And I got 100 sovereigns. That's something, I guess. Alright. Alright, let's speak to him. The publisher's office, which you suspect is also his home, is even more dilapidated than when you first visited. The doorknob comes off in your hand. If you want to make the second canto an extraordinary success, write about something extraordinary, says the publisher, jabbing his cigarette into his desk for emphasis. Something that no one will be able to ignore. To write the second canto, you must complete a monumentous exploit that will inspire awe in the populace of New Winchester. Oh, so we could do this right now. We have discovered the fate of the Parsifal. You've discovered one of the legendary wrecks. We could be a hero of the Tackities, a champion of the Westward Company. You are the savior of the sun. You are a knight of clocks. You are the saint of wells. Don't know what that is, but I think the wells are those things that I've been avoiding because I think they might be whirlpools. But I think maybe we'll explore one next time. You've explored the boatman, which is not a legendary wreck. You're a successful member of Parliament. You are the revolutionary of Brabazon. You stole a jewel from Alboin's crown. You're the scourge of monsters. You are the enemy of the gods. Oh boy, that'd be a terrifying thing to have. So we could do this the easy way. Imagine I'm the average man on the street, by which I mean I'm a Philistine of the lowest order. What have you done lately to capture my attention? Well, let's just go with this, because I have a feeling we're going to need to do several. And I want to pursue this. Let's see. I have discovered the fate of the Parsifal, which was pretty cool. The publisher is silent for a long time. Once you've finished telling your tale, he blinks a few times. Even his cigarette has extinguished. Stunning, he says finally. Make sure you write it exactly like that. Your deeds are worth publishing. Alright, the Song of the Sky looms in your mind, an unfinished monument. Write the second canto of the Song of the Sky. You've accomplished something so remarkable, so singular, it can't be perfectly translated into words. But you'll try. You sit at your desk, you stand, you pace, you sit again, you stare from the window. Where to begin? You remember the look in the publisher's vaguely reptilian eyes when you had first told him this story. A mix of disbelief, awe, and half-concealed greed. He'd been a kinder audience than the blank page. You begin to type, remembering how you worded your story in that first telling. Soon the typewriter is clacking and ringing merrily. The story stirs in your mind like some disturbed undersea monster, unspooling its tendrils before rushing Leviathan-like to the surface. Alright. Oh, and we leveled up. Sweet. A pause in your fevered typing. Before you write any further, you must make a decision. There are many ways to tell a tale. Are you writing dry journalism with a hint of dark humor? A page-turner with bounding, scintillating prose? Or a yearning verse tinged with melancholy? We are a poet. Poetry is the route we're going. Verse with the thundering rhythm of a train. How could you expect to communicate the nature of the high wilderness in all its hideous, dizzying majesty without resorting to poetry? Of course, the Song of the Sky will be written in verse. Nothing else will do. Words spit like lightning from your fingertips. The typewriter shudders and clanks in protest under the strain. You write in a kind of fury, your mind's eye raging with images of gloating stars and endless burning emptiness. And then you sit back, exhausted, as you realize you've run out of words. The second canto is complete. When you take the second canto to the omnivorous publisher, he flashes a goblin-like grin. "We're gonna set this city on fire," he declares with convincing menace. All right. Publish the second canto. The printing press wheezes into life, and paper churns. Newfound success. The next day, copies of the first and second cantos are being ruthlessly hawked by bookstalls and enterprising penny vendors across the city. "The extraordinary tale of a local sky captain who discovered the lost Parsifal," declares one salesman, waving copies of your pamphlet in the air like a holy text. "A voyage beyond imagining," shouts another with relish. "Those who read the Song of the Sky shall not leave unsaved." The second canto is quickly the subject of fevered gossip and speculation. Could it all be true? The newspapers deign to review it and throw around words like astonishing to describe both your exploits and your prose. Alright. The Song of the Sky looms in your mind, an unfinished monument. Write the third canto of the sky. The second canto caught the public's eye. The third must somehow live up to its predecessor. We need 3 savage secrets exactly. And we need 3 visions of heaven, which we have. So let's write the third verse. The third canto. No contemplation, no procrastination, no hours of prolonged hesitation. Not this time. Your story catches you like a fever, and your fingers whirl so fast you threaten to tangle your typewriter's keys. Pause in your fevered typing. Before you write any further, you must make a decision. Are you depicting your actions as purely heroic, or are you going to be honest? Heroic or honest. Beauty is truth after all, and truths aren't beautiful can be safely dismissed as oxymorons. You're not flinched from bearing your own flaws and foibles and occasional felonies. This is a tough one. I feel like my captain... Well, if I'm going with fiction, because I don't want to be insinuated, let's go with heroic. Let's go with heroic. An unblemished fable. What's the point of this exercise if not to cast yourself in the most favorable of lights? Anything you may have done to make a reader blanch, well, you'll change the circumstances, or perhaps invent a villain to make your actions look entirely reasonable. You stare at the half-empty page in panic. For a moment you fear you've lost your terrible momentum, but then the story catches you in its arms again and you are a golem, a conduit, a ghost desperate to relay its final message. You write until your fingers are blistered, until the ending catches you by surprise. You recline, sweat-drenched. The third canto is complete. When you take the third canto to the omnivorous publisher, he scans it with an empty grin before handing it to one of his assistants. How long has he had assistants? "Another masterpiece," he says. "You never cease to amaze." The omnivorous publisher's assistants flit around the printing press like tiny fish around the jaws of a shark. He sits back and pours himself a whiskey. The excited speculation around the second canto had only just begun to die down, and now vendors selling the third canto find themselves mobbed by small, eager crowds whose zeal has been reawakened. Over the next few days, you spot citizens of all stripes reading your pamphlet, from a vagrant under a bridge to a monocled aristocrat. A journalist interviews you, and any suspicion of his hostility evaporates when he starts stammering his admiration of your work. All the newspapers heap praises. For weeks, you're the toast of New Winchester's coffee shops and bookstores and other bastions of culture. Alright, The Song of the Sky. Looms in your mind, an unfinished monument. Alright, so I think I need another monumentous thing, which I don't have. So, that was awesome. But we're not done. So, let's repair our locomotive. Fully repair it. 108 sovereigns. Ugh. So expensive. And let's, perhaps not, let's leave. Let's go to an eggmonger. The sign over the small stall at the far end of the platform is rife with mistakes. The sign over the small stall at the far end of the platform was rife with mistakes. How is it possible to commit so many errors when writing the words, "I buy eggs"? The man behind the stall wears a crooked hat and a tattered coat. He is in possession of more twitches than teeth. Care to sell some eggs, Captain? I buy 'em. He points to that sign proudly. No, sell the egg. It's only taking up space in your hold. Yeah, it really is. So, let's sell the egg. You pass the man the egg, he almost drops it. He then searches around under the stall for a while with the egg tucked dangerously under his arm. Eventually, he gives up looking for a container to stow it in and clutches it between his legs while he roots through his pockets to pay you. Finally, with a nervous smile, he tips the right amount into the counter in front of him. Alright, so I got 300 sovereigns. Which just about makes up for the damage that we took fighting that dang bat. Alright. We don't need crew, really. Explore the city. I don't need that. To the bazaar. I don't need anything. Abraham's engineering. Villa. That's the thing I don't need, so yeah. Fuel and supplies. We need 2 more supplies. We'll sell these. We'll sell that. And we'll sell the caddy of dried tea. Yeah, why not? Alright. On our quest. Hold. Lustrum requires 5 crates of munitions, but that's the opposite direction. Nectar from Magdalene's. 3 gourds of Courser nectar. Well, we're likely to get some. And the what's-his-face wants Courser nectar. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, so we're going to hold off on that, and we're going to go talk to you. And let's restore the clay conductor's voice. You've overheard him attempting to sing, but he gave up quickly. His voice was gravelly and out of practice. Some nectar might help lubricate the vocal cords. Of course. A friend in need. The clay conductor fetches a spoon and several lumps of sugar. He mashes the lumps into the honey, then gargles the concoction. When he is done, you wrangle a little of his past from him. The clay conductor was in the clay choirs. His dead companion was a very talented clay chorister. I have hopes of finding someone with as good a voice again. One cannot be a chorus alone. I've heard tell of a clay man in the most serene mausoleum. The clay conductor trails off, clearly desiring your insistence, but unsure how to formulate the question. He stares at his feet instead. Alright, the most serene mausoleum. Well, we know how to do that thing, I think. So, we're going to Port Avon, then to Titania, then we're looping up around and searching this zone and seeing if Leadbeater and Steinrod is there. If they're not, we're going to loop up through, around, over, and head through to something ghastly. I know it's inefficient, but we're going to do it that way. And worst case scenario, we can come right back around and go to Palmyra and Plenty. Yeah, it's a long trip. So hopefully there's a port right there. If there's not, then we're kind of out of luck. But yeah, Port Avon, Titania, and onwards. Yeah, we ain't going the long way. No sense. Alright, and we can level up. Alright, so I really want to get my iron up and my hearts up. Yeah, I want to get my iron and my hearts above 50. That way I have at least 2 stats above 50. Which means I need something that does iron and something that also does hearts. So an esteemed predecessor, the Black Sheep. Let's see the Black Sheep. You never fitted in. You were a piece from another puzzle. You came to revel in your family's disappointment. Their disapproval was a trophy. Their condemnation, a commendation. Why did they resent you? For your successes. That which you deemed a virtue, they deemed a vice. What you adored, they despised. The things they revered, you mocked. You are a stranger to the people who knew you best. I would say that. After all, I've had an interesting past for my success. Alright, so I'm a poet who belonged to the Celestial School. I had a teacher. I had a few minutes of fame, and I've been haunted. I despise the soot and grime of London and wish to be past it. I did fight briefly in the war, and I was a scout for the Tactides. Alright, and I've gallivanted across the star skies. I have had a brush with death, probably from the war, and I am a bit of a black sheep to the fact that I am such a stellar poet. Alright, next up, if we increase anything, it's going to be mirrors and veils, I dare say. But let's see. This has been a pulse-pounding, well, not pulse-pounding, but exciting episode. 3 verses into our ambition already. I don't know how many there are. I've never completed an ambition in any of my games, this one or the previous one, so I am very excited that I'm doing so well with this captain. Maybe he can go the distance. I really hope he does, because I would hate to have to start over, if that makes sense. A little jiggle there. Ooh. Free stuff. Maybe. Fuel! Didn't really need that, but it's fine. Maybe we'll find a Cantickery. Maybe some of those experimental upgrades to affect my armor slots would be good. Because I don't really want to use those. Let's dock. Mr. Menagerie is passing through port. Alright, let's visit him. I don't want to buy anything from him, but let's listen to a story. He's... Charity is a crime, the punishment severe. Alright, Mr. Menagerie, what you got? Mr. Menagerie gestures to the ruins that loom over the port like the Sphinx outside Thebes. We were in service here long ago, a bargain struck with the old king in the woods. We served at table, procured deliciousness, watched, witnessed, feared. Freedom is better. Freedom is better, it repeats in tones of mild admonishment. Well then why are you chaining up animals? I'm just saying. Alright, Port Avon. Mr. Carpenter. He bids you deliver the material outside his workshop and return in 2 days. After the time has passed, just outside your locomotive, you find the magician's equipment boxed and ready for transport. The carpenter is nowhere to be seen. Alright, let's share some exotic thing. And let's share some more gossip. And let's write a port report. And then let's go to the dock. Nope, what's the village green? The Cyclopean ruins. Enjoy the picturesque surroundings. Yeah, why not? Another vision of heavens. Village green. Ah, the Amiel Vagabond. Seek out the court of the Skylarks. The camp has moved since the vagabond was here last. He stoops to examine a wooden post etched with dozens of signs. Beneath a bridge. We call these Skylark signals, says the vagabond. The post has been carved with dozens of crude hieroglyphs. Top secret! We carve them to tell each other of the character of a port. He jabs at a row of zigzags. This means unfriendly, he points at a triangle, but this means that there's a Skylark camp nearby. You follow him past the village's fringe, you hear voices raised in drunken song. Then you see a crumbling bridge beneath which are campfires and tents. "My loyal subjects!" roars the vagabond, plunging down the slope. Stamping around the fire, singing of old adventures, howling and dancing and laughing, the Skylarks' coats are ragged, their hygiene is questionable, and many of them bear unsightly scars. But they seem to have found something to celebrate. Perhaps just that they've made it through the month. They raise their flasks and bottles in a toast and roar together, "My life is the lark, my king is the sky." So I can trade some rumors, or I can listen to some stories around a campfire. Let's listen to some stories. Alright, the Skylark hunches forward, his face skull-like in the firelight. He launches into a fanciful tale of somewhere hidden in the furthest corner of the reach called the Sugar-Spun Garden. The Sugar-Spun Garden is a mythical place where a weary Skylark can settle down. He describes whiskey rivers and marzipan mountains in a land without laws. The Skylark, lucky enough to find his way here, can sleep contentedly in a grove where even the trees are smiling. When he finishes, half the Skylarks are weeping. The vagabond raises his flask solemnly. Cinders swirl into the night sky. Alright, let's trade rumors. We can do both, yay. The latest news. They discuss where to find work in New Winchester, the price of beer in Lustrum, the balance of the Winchester War. And wilder rumors, too, of course. A wild-eyed Skylark claims that the devils at Carillion are replacing people with doppelgangers. One woman, shivering, insists that she saw a 100-eyed monster the size of a continent swimming through the dark. Lastly, a solemn young woman announces that a Skylark named Quivers has gone missing. It's been months since he was seen at camp or at any stations. Probably dead. There are 1,000 ways for a Skylark to die before their time. Alright, the party's dying down. Many of the Skylarks are asleep in their tents or drifting back to the station in search of a ride. You search among the tents for the amiable vagabond and find him fast asleep beside a dwindling fire. A flea-bitten dog is gnawing at one of his boots. The Skylarks are quite happy to let their so-called king sleep it off in the dirt. You shake him and he wakes with a noise like a bear being stabbed. "Another fine meeting with my loyal subjects," declares the vagabond, lurching to his feet and swaying only slightly. "Come, let us return to the engine. Adventure awaits!" He sets off confidently in the wrong direction. Alright. Let's watch a cricket match. And then let's attend to service. I think that's that's a Sky Story. We've worn out our welcome, but let's talk to our good friend, the Vagabond. "Speak of wonders in the sky. I seemed uncharacteristically morose of late. Perhaps you can cheer him up." "Sure." Since you left poor Avon, the Vagabond has limited his fiddle playing to the most melancholy refrains. Every time it leaves the boilerman in such a tearful mess that he has to abandon his duties. You share a drink and share a few stories with the Vagabond, hoping to get to the root of the matter. "Even among Skylarks, I don't feel quite at home," he says. "I can't stop thinking about my old homestead in Lustrum. Perhaps we could visit there someday. Ah, Captain, take this flask away from me. Whiskey and nostalgia is a dangerous combination." Alright, so he wants to go to Lustrum. I have no qualms. So we're headed to Titania and on. Let's see if we can't catch and butcher that dude. That Cantickery. Oh, Mr. Cantickery. Or is he gone? He might just be gone. No, he's still out there. The range. Yeah, it's not worth diving down that route. We're gonna head this way. We're probably gonna get a boatload of Chorister nectar on this trip. Oh, Cantickery, sweet. Alright. Deploy the canning equipment. Something grave dead ahead. Ooh, one of these. Sweet. Ow. Weird noises, which are kind of creepy. Alright, they're just avoiding me. Nice. A little garish for your taste, eh? Well, that's fine. We're just gonna head in and possibly pick up a few things of nectar out here. I do need some for something. Alright, attend an art exhibition without terror. Write that port report. Let's see a new start for Titania. I don't want them to be Alboin style, so I'm going to try and find a Lutheria. The Porphyry fonts. What do you have? Nothing of note. Bizarre. Crockery for sale. I don't need it. We'll pick up one of those. And then it's off. We curve round an under and we hug the left wall and hope to find something. I do want to go to that something ghastly because I think that might be a well. And if it's a well, then we can go find and get our stuff from the well. I don't know. There might be something there we can use. Oh, hello. That's a... Oh, beers and gravy. That's a lot of bees. Holy Toledo, that's a lot of bees. If I have to fight my way, I can fight my way through them, but I prefer not. If you know what I mean. Yeah, I don't really get much from them. I mean, my iron's high enough that I could probably extract honey directly from them, but I prefer to avoid that. Yep. Or should we just be straight ahead? I thought there was honey there, but I guess I was mistaken. That's fine. Ooh, a wreck. The Pompous. Alright, let's force the doors to the hold open. Alright, what have they found? A marked box. An otherworldly artifact. Interesting. More ding-dong bees. Oh, there it is. There's some honey. Let's grab the honey. Hugging the left wall. Yep, there's the... Oh my gosh, I missed the port by inches. Oh, that makes me mad. That makes me mad. I've been here through like 3 times. Oh my gosh. Alright, let's dock. We finally made it to the nature preserve. There are so many quests that are tied up here. Alright. Leadbeater and Steinrod is an elderly London company, the custodians of the Empire's first supernal Nature Reserve. To find work with them, head for Capabilities Cabins. If you'd rather enjoy the reserve, seek the gateway of Albert's Idell. Alright, so let's get the report. Let's drop off a settler. The concrete bay is for loading and unloading locomotives. It disappoints tourists who expect to arrive at a scenic waterside. It mainly caters for the workers of the Leadbeater and Steinrod Company, who come to collect goods from the laboratories here. Cable cars link to the main reserve below and the scientific base at Capabilities Inquest. Alright, let's drop off a settler. You made it! Alright, I'll encourage them to disembark. Yep, just get going. She gives you a smile as weak as the tea she's been brewing aboard your engine before making a quick departure. A small purse is all she's left behind in her cabin. Some money. Not a lot of money, but some money. Converse with our fellow captains. For a few, it's the work provided by Leadbeater and Steinrod. For the rest, the reason is the same. They're drawn by the beauty of the reserve. Some are here with tourists from across the Empire. Others are here to give their crews a respite. Others were simply passing by and couldn't resist stopping in. Alright, let's go to Capabilities Inquest. A base of research. Let's consult a superior researcher on your findings in Hybris. Her cabin is away from most of the main laboratories on a little hillock overlooking the swamps of the reserve. The cabin walls shine with a slick of golden residue smeared over the wood. The superior researcher is moving about the room lighting candles. The air is musky. Do forgive the smell. The last sample exploded. She leans in to kiss the pernickety factor on the cheek, who produces a handkerchief as soon as the researcher's back is turned. She is very interested in the bit of purple fungus you present her. How fascinating! Unfortunately, my lab's rather depleted after the last incident. If you were to fetch me a live specimen, we can get to work. Requires a caged catch. Okay. I never got one of those, but okay. Read the request to all park goers. We want to study the powerful forces of nature at work in the Reach so that we may improve the life of all citizens of the Empire. If you are an intrepid sort and willing to aid in our earnest efforts, we are offering a reward for the following. I see you are interested. The phlegmatic researcher has wheeled up behind you, his left leg raised perhaps to produce the very obvious swelling. The keys to understanding the remarkable principles of growth and cultivation are waiting here. We just need suitable specimens. If you aid our research, I'll ensure you are properly remunerated. Okay, what do you want? He needs one of the following requests. Of course, he's happy to reward you if we bring back more. The wings of a chorister bee. Ants. Don't know where to find them. Hybris pus. Okay. Okay, Albert's Ideal. Into the reserve. I don't really feel like going into the reserve. Alright. Tea for sale. Skyfarer supplies. Well, let's stock up a little bit. And real quick, let's take a look-see. How are we looking on this? Oh boy, this is a long one. So, we're going to call it a day here. We finally found the bloody nature reserve, but we've gotten so much accomplished in this episode. But that is all the time I've got for the moment, so thank you so much for watching.